Hey, Fae folk, welcome back. So I got her. I did it. I still can't believe this doll is in my hands. Like, honestly, from the moment that she went up on Mattel Creations, this is, by the way, the Monster High Skullector Xenomorph doll. Sorry, I probably should have said that. I'm just really excited from the moment she went on Mattel Creations and I somehow managed to check out to the moment she arrived at my door. Like, part of me didn't really believe that she was coming, if that makes sense. Like, part of me was like, this is a fluke. They're going to cancel my order or UPS is going to lose it. Like, I just couldn't believe it was real, but it's real. She's here. She's in my hands, and we're going to do a little unboxing of her for today. Now, I did do a video like already based on the stock photos, sort of being my first impressions on this doll, but like I have to unbox her on camera for you guys. I only mention that because I do want to reiterate, just in case you haven't seen that video, that I have not seen anything involving Alien, and I don't intend to. I am just so I'm such a baby. Like, I say this all the time, but just in case this is your first video that you're seeing of me, I feel like I need to say it again. I can't handle any form of like scary movies, scary TV shows. I can't handle visually being frightened. I just panic and cry and have nightmares for forever. So not really my thing. So I don't understand the full context of this doll. I'm sure there are going to be references on her that I simply don't understand, and I am sorry if that bothers you, but I haven't seen anything Alien and I will not be seeing anything Alien. The flip side, though, is I think it is a huge testament to how sick this doll looks that even someone who is completely clueless desperately wanted the doll. So you can see, hopefully, the front of the box, if the glare isn't horrific, the like matte, or no, the shiny on matte kind of face silhouette of the doll. On the side here, we have like a half body. It's not really a full body photo, but you get to see a little bit more. On the other side, it just says Alien, and then, sorry, the halves are trying to come apart. On the back, it says, in space, no one can hear you scream, and there is an egg on there. Now, let's see if we can do like a fun little reveal. Oh, close. What just happened? Genuinely. But there she is. I know there's still potentially a lot of glare because this whole thing is plastic. We're going to fix that though, because I will be unboxing this doll. I can't lie. I did debate that. I was like, do I want to keep her in box? Because she does look just so, so cool. I'm certainly keeping the box. I don't know yet if I'm going to end up using it in my display or if I just want to like have it just to have it, like a little goblet. But like, I don't know. This is just such a crazy iconic doll. I feel like I can't get rid of the box like I do with like a majority of mine. I end up recycling the box, but this one's going to have to stay. On the back here, there's like a lot of text. You can either pause to read, or if when I'm editing this doesn't look usable, then I'll take a picture and then you can pause to read that if you'd like, but I'm not gonna read all of it. Sorry, I can barely speak, let alone read aloud on camera, so we're not doing that today. The other thing we're not going to do with this doll is go in depth through my doll buying rubric, because she's a 24 out of 25, possibly a 25 out of 25. The only place she maybe loses points is I'm not sure that I'm so excited about this doll that I might cry. So I don't know if she's a perfect 5 out of 5 for like emotional impact, but she is a perfect 5 out of 5 for the other 4 categories. So her like minimum score is 24, and she might be a perfect score. So like, I'm not going to pull out the whole rubric just to be like, tee, she's a perfect score. I'm so excited for this doll. I did get her when they did the like fan club release. So like the first day she was available just for members, I managed to get her. I had like my phone and my laptop open and up trying to check out, because I was just like, I know this thing isn't going to go well on at least one of these devices. I need a backup plan. And that was a good call, because on my phone, for some reason, the CAPTCHA just like was not functioning at all. I know a lot of people reported having CAPTCHA issues, and like, I understand you could be like, oh, well, you're just clicking the wrong thing. No, I swear to God, I went through the CAPTCHA on my phone like 7 times while I had already passed the CAPTCHA on the computer and was in line. Like, I was just trying to get through just in case. And I swear to you, it was correct. Like, I was being so slow and careful because I already had one device in line, right? Like, it was fine. And it just wasn't working. So I'm very, very glad that I like doubled up and did that. Crazy that I had to do that. But that being said, I know that a lot of people were like not vibing with the release. And it's so hard just because like inherently, I do feel like when there's a release like this that so many people are excited about and so many people who are excited can't get her, that is a bad thing. And I don't want to be praising Mattel or Mattel Creations or Monster High or anything like that for the release because, like, with a doll that you know is going to be this popular, I definitely think that you should have plenty of stock on hand. But that being said, I honestly thought it was going to be so much worse. I think the fan clubs sold out in like 10 minutes. I was fully expecting it to be like 3 minutes and she's gone. And then I think the general release the next day, they sold out in like 10, 15 minutes, I want to say. That's about what I was hearing people report. And then they also did a like second, or not like a second restock, because I guess it was the member release and then the general release. They ended up doing a restock later that same day for dolls that presumably are going to be like a whole new batch. They're making more because the ship date isn't until 2026. And that apparently sold out too. So, like, on the one hand, I definitely want to acknowledge and I don't want to minimize anyone's feelings for being sad if you missed out on this doll because that is like valid and real. And Mattel is a huge company. They should not be having capture problems. They shouldn't be selling out of stock. Like, they don't need to be doing all this, like they could just make enough dolls. But I guess I just want to highlight that it at least seems like they somewhat tried. Like, it does seem like they had a decent stock of these dolls. And then to do the extra restock. It's certainly not perfect. Again, I don't want to minimize anybody's feelings if you're disappointed, but I did just want to like highlight that as being more than they have done in the past. So, not perfect, but it is something. But I think that's finally everything that I wanted to touch on before I unbox this girly pop. So I'm going to go ahead and do that very, very carefully to try to preserve the integrity of her box. And then we will reconvene and discuss her details and everything and just have a super time. So I will see y'all in a moment. Alrighty, y'all. Our Xenomorph is out of the box and she's crazy. Crazy. So we did get a certificate of authenticity, kind of, just a thing that you get. And then she has a somewhat specialized stand. So we have like the saddle stand with the thigh clips that you can clip on. This piece does come separately and then you can like choose to clip it on. I will say mine, I was fighting to get that thing on there. Like the thigh clips, I genuinely was like, I'm going to break this before I manage to get it on there. But it's on there. I'm just saying. And then instead of like the normal base, we have like a bit of a crick to it. And then like this built out portion that connects to the Monster High stand at the bottom. I don't know why they've done this. Like, I don't know if it's maybe just because like you see so much of the doll and like the legs and everything. Maybe they wanted the stand to stand out just a little bit because it's not like, oh, the saddle stand's going to be hidden by this big ballroom dress. Like, no, you are going to see the stand. So maybe that was it. It doesn't really matter. Like, I don't feel any type of way about it. I'm just speculating, pointing things out. You know the drill. But come on. This is obviously what we're here to take a look at. It is the Xenomorph doll, y'all. Even just standing here, like, I do not know where to start with this doll. Like, I genuinely have no idea how to begin this video because I'm just so blown away. So I guess we're just gonna go head down like we normally do. You can't really see her face super well, and I am so sorry, guys. I'm not going to be taking the hair down. I thought about it, okay? I've seen some pictures on Instagram of people who have taken the hair down, and she looks good. She does look good with the hair down, but I don't know. I like her both ways, and I feel like it's better for me to keep her this way because I don't think I can get it back this way if I undo her hair and then change my mind. You know what I'm saying? And like since I do like her this way, we're just going to go with it. We're just going to let this be the default. That's fine. But that means that I'm not going to take this off because I feel like if I take the visor off, I risk messing up the hair that's done underneath. So sorry. I'll try to get a little closer so you can sort of see the eyes under there. They're starry. They're cute. I like the way they look behind the visor situation. Like, I like how they're sort of obscured and you can just barely tell that they're there. It really amplifies, I don't know, something about the creepiness. Because I said in my original, like, thoughts video this is the first time a Monster High doll has genuinely felt like creepy to me. Not in the sense of like, oh my God, I'm scared of the doll. Obviously, like if you feel fear around dolls, I mean, you're probably not watching this video if you feel fear around dolls. I would never judge someone for being afraid of dolls. It's just not something that I have ever really felt. Yeah, I was like thinking for a second and I'm like, yeah, even like pictures of haunted dolls online are like a little creepy, but I'm not actively afraid of them. So feeling any sort of unease with the doll is new for me. I'm not sitting here like jump scared. Oh my God, I can't look at her. I'm literally touching her. Like I'm fine. But something about her is eerie. And I think it's really impressive that they've managed to do that while maintaining like the monster highness of her. So yeah, that's her face. You can see her dark gray, almost black lips there. And the crazy sculpting. The sculpting everywhere is the star of the show here. Like it's just genuinely unreal. Her hair pulled up to complete the like I don't know if this is the alien's head. Y'all, I already told you I didn't know anything. But complete the look, complete the shape. It looks so crazy in profile, but I think like the 3/4 view where you can still see a little bit of her face, but you can still see that her head is so unnaturally shaped. Ugh, that's gonna be how she displays for me. But look at that. Are we kidding? The sculpting is just there's so many details. I'm genuinely stunned. Moving on down, we've got even though she looks to be a rather threadbare doll, so to speak, we do have a decent chunk of layers. So this piece here that has like sort of a rib cage and it's got these question marks coming off of it. I don't know what to call them. Like I have no idea what to call that. Little like tube things coming off of it. That is a separate plastic piece. Her tail's going to get in the way a lot. My apologies for that. But yeah, that's a separate plastic piece. And then there's her shirt underneath where you can see I'm not taking any of it off. Again, I'm really sorry. Like genuinely, because I feel like I'm kind of being a shit reviewer at the moment. But like also I bought this doll because I wanted her in my collection and I don't want to mess her up. But she has like this mesh shirt underneath. You can see a little bit of the silver detailing at her neck, which I think looks really, really nice. Just like that pop of shimmer shine is really excellent. The shapes are really cool, like the actual construction shape of the garment, not like the shapes printed on. Those are cool too. We're just going to talk about them a little bit more with the skirt because you can see them more with the skirt. And you can see her arm sculpting is also unique and just so detailed. The hands. Shut up. Shut up. That's so good. That's so cool. Like, I'm just thinking about the amount of effort that went into doing all this sculpted detail, and I'm so baffled. And then under all of that, if you see this like section going down her stomach, this is a bodysuit. So it connects underneath the skirt here. And it's like a like crinkled faux leather sort of material. Very fun, a little edgy, but I really am vibing with it. Obviously, you can sort of see the sculpting in there where she's still got all the detail on her stomach. Her skirt, I will say, sits a little bit odd for me. I don't know, like it's so hard to see. How am I gonna hold on? There's another slight problem that's like making this ever so slightly more difficult. But yeah, if you hold her like this, you can see the skirt sort of like it's like hovering a little bit, like it doesn't fit quite right. And the way that it comes on and off is there's just a tiny piece of Velcro right here. So it does hang over her tail quite nicely. Like that's good that they managed to do the skirt in a way that doesn't impede the tail. But I do think it could have just been like a slightly different shape around the waist or slightly just tighter to sort of fit better and not like it kind of rides up for me. That is a little bit nitpicky. I recognize that, but also I didn't mean to. Oh my god, I didn't mean to put her hand that anyway. Oh my god. we're just gonna move past it. I just think that like for a doll that I think her retail cost was 80 or 85. I know I paid about 100 after shipping and taxes because the taxes are dependent on the area that you're shipping to. So she's going to vary a little bit in price for everybody, but like after whatever taxes you owe and then shipping, at least within the US, like continental US, you're going to be looking, or you would have been looking at around $100. She sold out. I don't know why I'm talking like this. The hand thing really threw me. I can't even lie. But yeah, so when you pay $100 for a doll, like, does the skirt being a little bit loose ruin her for me? By no means whatsoever. But also, I'm gonna point it out because, like, that's crazy that you would spend $100 on something and the skirt's gonna be a little bit loose. Mentioning the skirt, though, we can go ahead and look a little bit better at the patterns. I'll try to, like, put my hand under there so you can see. So that if you understand the references, you can see them. I love the color of the iridescence that they chose for these sheer panels. Like, it just reflects blue and it's so subtle in the right lights. Like, you can kind of see towards the back that, like, you see it from the back and it just looks like a shadow, but then her arms are like glimmering because the light's hitting them. It is such an incredible effect. Like, ethereal, again, eerie, a little creepy. Like, it's such a good vibe. But I also like it, A, because I just love anything glitter. Y'all know me. But also because I do think that, I mean, otherwise, she's a grayscale doll, which, like, can be done. I mean, Shadow High was very, very popular, at least amongst collectors. Apparently didn't do as well with kids. But the first line of Shadow High was completely grayscale. But I think for her, like, she did just need a hint of coloring in there, in my opinion. It's not overwhelming, it's not too much, it doesn't take away from anything else about her design, but it's just enough to add a hint of visual interest, and I really, really vibe with that. Then we can finally talk about the tail, okay? It's long. It's amazingly sculpted. Like, it's so, so cool, the point on the end. It's like a slightly flimsy material. I mean, I'm whipping it. This would actually high-key hurt. Like, she could be a weapon. Anyway, but it looks like it just has some form of, like, wire articulation on the inside. I don't know why when I saw this, I thought it was like click joints along here. I truly don't know what I was thinking with that, but it does have like a wire articulation. So it's a little bit finicky, a little bit difficult to get it to do exactly what you want. But I will say I like that the fact that it is like a slightly more rubbery vinyl. Like, it does that little bounce thing whenever you move her, like, it kind of wiggles around. And I really think it does a lot as far as the doll looking quite organic, and like, it gives it a little bit more of that illusion that this could really be alive, which with everything else really enhances the creepiness. I'm totally here for it. And you know, I'm not too upset because genuinely I wouldn't have been surprised if Mattel made this doll and the tail had no articulation whatsoever. So the fact that we at least have a wire in there so you can do a little something something with it, I do think is a nice touch. Then we're going down to the legs. Once again, incredible detail. Like, props to the sculptors who worked on this doll, because I know this shit took so long to, like, get just right and everything. Like, a lot of it is just lines, and I feel like that seems very simple. I don't do any, like, 3D sculpting, any, like, digital sculpting or anything like that, so I'm not for sure. But this feels like the sort of thing that looks easy, but is actually quite difficult to accomplish perfectly. Let me know in the comments if you do digitally sculpt, if you have any insight on that, but, like, I just find it crazy impressive. Now, the problem that I mentioned earlier, which was why I was having a hard time holding her up to, like, illustrate the skirt point, is that her knees are very loose, especially if you only hold one. Like, she's going down, and it is both of them. And even when I hold both knees, she sort of slowly and then falls. So that's why I was like, okay, I have to, like, hold her, but I have to make sure that the knee joints are good, or she's leaning a little bit forward because otherwise she'll start to fall. That kind of sucks. I feel like this is a fairly common problem with the G1 bodies in general. I don't know if it's just like a structure thing, just because they are, like, quite thin bodies. Just in general, everything is rather slender. I don't know if, like, that's it. Because, like, the other thing too is with the older G1 dolls, you can kind of be like, oh, well, they're old. It happens as time goes on. But I think I guess the Emily Skullector doll that I got had a one skeleton leg. So, like, there's even less structure there. Point being, though, even though it's not an uncommon problem amongst G1 dolls, it is a bit disheartening to see. Because it just feels scary. Like, you're holding her and then she's falling, and it's like, holy shit, what if the knee just snaps? Like, it is a scary feeling, and I don't love that for $100, I can't just, like, hold my doll by one leg and feel safe about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little iffy to me. Again, you could consider it nitpicky, but, like, it bothers me, so I have to say it. But that finally brings us down to her shoes, which, I mean, just like the rest of her, are so crazy. This, I'm nearly certain, is called the face hugger. No one corrected me in the last video, so I'm just going to go with it. So the shoes are face huggers, and it's just like, there's even like teeth down here. We have a new sculpt for the feet, so there's only 4 toes, it looks like, with these long nails, and like the crazy sculpting around her ankle. And the shoes are just so, so good. I'm in awe. Let me go ahead and get her on the stand right quick. Okay, girl. Her tail got caught on my table. And see how this... That's interesting because this is like certainly where the saddle stand is supposed to go. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. The saddle is not hitting her crotch like it should be to support her. She's held in 100% by the thigh supports. And like in the Emily video, I did make a mistake. Okay, y'all let me know. That I had assumed that her, like Emily's thigh grips, I almost said waist clips, and I was like, that's not a waist. Her thigh grips, I thought, moved up and down, but there was a designated spot for them. I have since fixed Emily. So I knew this time, I was like, okay, that's the designated spot. It doesn't fit though. So I'm like, did they, I mean, if I bend her knees, does she, okay. So she sinks down if you bend her knees. So it's not like it doesn't fit. I guess it's more just maybe she's supposed to be in that like creeping sort of pose that they had her in. I don't know. There. Okay. We've got her somewhat. But like she's still not sat on there. I don't know. I feel bad critiquing her. I don't know why. I think just because I like her so much. But hello. That's kind of bizarre. But the tail works and everything. I was afraid that the tail was going to be so heavy that it would counterbalance and like she'd just be tipping backwards. And that doesn't seem to be a problem. So there is at least that. But that's going to be everything for the Xenomorph. Lately I've been doing more like multiple unboxings where it's like 3 to 6 dolls at a time. So it kind of feels funny to be like, oh, that's everything that I have to say when I've only done 1 doll. But that's everything that I have to say. Favorite thing about her is the sculpting. Like, there's nothing else that I could possibly pick to be the standout. Like, that is just so intricate and impressive, and I'm in awe of the people who sculpted all of the elements on this doll, like head to toe, just insane, insane work. Also the inclusion of the sheer and like the metallic. Oof, that's really, really nice. Least favorite things are just like the nitpicks that I had, like the stand being a little bit weird in terms of like not always fitting her and the skirt not fitting quite right, and especially the knees being loose. Like there's just a couple of things that aren't necessarily ideal to me about this doll. But that being said, I'm still extremely happy to have her. Like she just stands out so much amongst my collection. Like she's not like any other doll that I have. So I feel very grateful that I was able to get her, and just like it's just so excited to get to have her in my hands. So those are all of my thoughts. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below. If you got this doll also, are you also in love? But also, do you have any of the same problems I do? Just because I'm kind of nosy like that. Like I like to know if it's just a defect with mine or if it's like a widespread problem. So please do sound out down below. But that's going to be it for me for today, y'all. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, whatever it might be. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.